APR is around 20 to 25%.
It ranges because mine as well is 25.99%.
Yeah, so it's usually higher for younger people who are watching this, but the average credit card interest rate is 17.5%. So, what most people buy with credit cards: food, going out, Gucci belts, nice leather couches with avocado toast.
And a shitload of gas.
Yeah, there you go. So, this is a statistic that I'll put on the screen right now.
Statistic.
The average American weekly food spending, this is going out, In-N-Out, Five Guys, Panera Bread, Starbucks, coffee, all of that. The average person spends $173 a week just on food alone. That is mind-boggling. I spend probably roughly $40 to $50 a week on getting groceries to make my food a year. And
I'm a college student. I commute.
Top Ramen.
I buy a lot of food, and I'm guilty. I use my credit card to buy food. I do it all the time. A lot of Lunchables.
Now, let's say a couple weeks pass, they swiping that left or right. I want swipe. How long will it take to pay off a $3,000 line by making the minimum payments with a 17.5% interest rate? Let's say you buy a Gucci belt, Coachella, food, a nice leather couch for your room.
TV.
Yeah. So this is a calculator you can Google. It's a credit card calculator. How long would it pay off? If you get a $3,000 balance, the payments will jump up to $45 a month. Usually, if it's anything below that, it's like $25. Yours is $25, right?
$25.
Mine's $25
payment
on all my lines. If you make the minimum payment on a $3,000 balance, it'll take you 17.16 years to pay that off. $6,246 in interest alone. More than double what you actually paid that $3,000 for. So you guys have to realize when you swipe it, because you have to pay that money back and then some. You have to be smart about it. You have to realize that it's not free money, which I feel like a lot of people, they fall into the sense of like, oh, this is cool, I got like $1,000. No, you're borrowing $1,000 and you're paying back and then some.
Think of a credit as money that...
And if you're a cheapskate, last thing you want to do is borrow money and then pay back more. Easy monthly payments of $45. It'll only take you
17 years of your life.
That's a lot of time.
Now, what should you do if you have a credit card? Depends on the situation. I use it to pay my bills, buy stuff you can afford in cash, and just put it on the credit card. Let it hit the statement 3 weeks, and then zero it out. It's really that simple. Don't go out swiping away your debit card, and then when you got nothing left, swipe away that credit card. That is like terrible. Buy what you can afford with cash, put it on the card, pay it off.
If you
Also,
don't,
that saves you from paying interest.
if you can't already pay off something with cash, then you shouldn't be buying it with credit.
Exactly. I feel like that's the biggest misconception, because as we get older, this isn't taught in school.
At least to start off.
You know how easy it is nowadays to get a credit card? They incentivize, so you go to any store, you're like 16 years old and they'll ask you if you want a credit card, even though you just tell them you're 16. They're like, oh, when you come back and get a card when you're 18. And we're taking it like it's free money, but it's really not.
So,
and how interest works is the first, like on a more, well, I don't want to get it too much into detail because that's a ton of information. But for the first like quarter of the time of you making that monthly payment, all of those payments go straight to interest. It's a curve. This is a chart. I'll put it on. Skadoosh. It starts at the very top. 90% of those monthly payments are going to go straight towards interest. That's on any loan, any credit card, any mortgage. You are paying nothing but interest. Very small percentage. And over time, as you get closer to paying that debt off, you start putting more and more towards the down payment of the principal. This is something that everybody should know.
in school, you'll find that a lot of the times, for example, they have classes like a career class that teaches you how to get a job.
I took a class in finances.
But you never really did anything with financing to actually get practice on how to finance. Exactly. And in fact, you're in high school, you don't even not even have any finances at all, other than your monthly $10 allowance that your grandma gives you. She's like, so how do you get a credit card?
You apply. You go online. You Google best credit card to apply for starters. You can get a secured credit card through your bank where you put a minimum deposit and they'll give you the credit line. And that cash is reserve cash if you default on the payments. Meaning you don't pay off that crap. They got cash.
I highly recommend, although this is not how I started, but I highly recommend going with a secured credit card. At the time, I thought that secured credit cards were bad because I had to deposit money and I was like, it's not making any sense. But secured credit cards are actually a really good way to start. And just, if you're looking to get a credit card, try to start with your bank. Whatever bank you might have, Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, try to get a secured credit card.
If not, Capital One is an amazing place to start.
Capital One also has a student credit card that is fairly easy to get qualified for. My very first credit card was a Capital One student, credit card, and my balance was $300. It really wasn't much, but over the 3 years that I've had my credit line, I've had significant increases, for having given my payments on time, using the minimum amount, leaving a balance so that the bank charges me interest, because when they see that, they're making money off of you, and
they're gonna want to incentivize you to buy more, so they make more money off of you. And they see that you're financially responsible, so they're gonna give you a big increase, so you can go swipe away for Coachella. What I did, and this is my fault. This is what I tried to do. When I started getting a credit increase, is like any other young kid, get a nice vehicle.
A car, bro.
But it will
race car.
And this is my first failure of trying to leverage my money to make money, using the bank's money to make me money. Usually you do that in real estate, but I did that through automotive industry. By buying a wedge deal, being a good negotiator, getting an undervalued car. That's it's fairly nice. I can take out to find spicy senoritas out in dates. Didn't have too many of those, unfortunately. And what is it? It went to shit. It was an unreliable car, and I ended up losing money on that. But I got rid of it, and I've learned to never get those kind of cars again.
In the link below, we're going to leave 5 recommendations of 5 different credit cards that you can start with.
Whether it's a secured card or a beginner's card, you're going to be able to leverage your money a lot more. A lot of money, whether you're into a partnership or, by yourself, just trying to get a house, your first investment, whatever it is, you have the ability to do that because you were smart and you took responsibility. You took yourself accountable and you forced yourself to be disciplined to manage your cards correctly. Just something as simple as that could set you up for a good future, to where you're not worried about getting out of debt before you die.
It really sucks to be in debt, and it's not something that you want. So like Esteban was saying, is you want to set yourself up now when you're 20 years old, not when you're 40 years old.
I feel like a lot of people end up going through, especially if they're going to school and they're having like a part-time job or even a full-time job while going to school. Just not having that knowledge, I feel like a lot of people will end up going through this, and they're not alone. They feel like it. I felt like this. I got into debt and I was stressing out about the car when it broke down, and that it needed a new engine, all of this crap. I felt like I was isolated. Oh, I'm the worst. This is terrible. Nobody goes through this. Why am I? You're not alone. I feel like everybody goes through that in some point in their life. But if you haven't, you might, or it can be prevented by you just using these simple techniques.
We're here to try to help you guys not make the same mistakes that we made. It's
exactly.
I had to go through debt. Esteban had to go through debt. We know what it feels like. It sucks. You guys do not want to go through debt.
And maybe they are going through debt right now, and they're feeling like they're trying to catch up. You guys can immediately start implementing these tools to dig yourself out of that hole and progress in your financial long run. Because let's face it, money is one of those taboo subjects that nobody wants to talk about, because you're gonna feel
Stressed.
You're gonna feel it's stressful. You feel judged. You're insecure about it, and you're emotionally tied to it, which is one of the worst things that you can be. I'm completely transparent with my situation because it's just a tool that I use. I'm not crazy about making money or any of that. I just understand the value that you need money to eat, to survive, and to live.
And you're gonna realize that when you start managing your money right, you're gonna have more money left over. If try to avoid a lot of things like impulse buying, unnecessary, spending.
Starbucks every day, avocado toast for lunch.
Yeah, do you really
Coachella
need
with your friends.
the $5 Starbucks drink every morning, or who knows, even twice a day?
Or you can go to 7-Eleven and get it for like $1.50. Come on.
Like, you have to be willing to sacrifice like some things. Like, you don't need the
Dutch
Starbucks.
Bros every day. And I feel like even just if you just eliminate those little things, that sets you up completely for the rest. It gives you momentum. It's like a train. Once you get it pushed, it's hard to get it going, but once it does, it's a lot easier to keep it moving.
And you're gonna realize at the end of every month or every pay period that you're gonna be having more and more money, saved up to use for, not exactly whatever you like. We recommend investing your money.
And if you don't know anything, index fund. Google what an index fund is. S&P 500. On average for the last 30 years, it grows 7%. That's included with like an inflation adjustment. But that, not to get into crazy detail, but
that's a whole different video.
topic which we'll wait on. But I feel like we went over all of the things, and if there's something that that we didn't mention that would be helpful, list it in the comments down below.
Or something that you might have a question about that we might be able to answer.
Exactly.
If you want more information on getting started with credit, feel free to leave a comment below or email us. We're more than happy to answer any questions that you guys might have.
Yeah, and we understand we're not the brightest guys out there, and we're not claiming to be the smartest people on this type of subject or any of that. We're not financial advisors. We didn't study that. No, we're just taking the time to do a little bit of research based off of our past experiences with it, and we're trying to make we're trying to make changes in it to help us in the future on what we want to do. That's it. We're not cocky or any of that. We're just trying to make the best of it, and if we can help one or two other people out there, then this is completely worth it. Because why would we want to be on this path and just go through alone and then be on the top and then hoping for everybody to fail? We need more people to know about this stuff, because we want to be able to help and contribute to everybody. So in generations that pass down, it might help the economy. You learn this, you pass it down to your kids pass it down to their kids and friends. It's a domino effect, and next thing you know, in 20 to 30 years, we're not in a situation where every single person, the average American, is in debt.
And a lot of people have the mindset of like, who cares if I'm in debt? I'm gonna die anyways, and the debt's just gonna stay there. Like, no, you don't. Trust me, you don't want to live with debt every day, because then you always have to make that extra payment.
Exactly.
To your debt.
And having money isn't everything, but not having it turns into everything. Meaning you end up revolving, and I've seen this from multiple people. It's unfortunate that you have to see it, but it's the truth. There's a lot of people out there where they do nothing but stress on their next bill, on their past bill. Especially working in retail, where I run a lot of people's credits. Dude, like, it's crazy how like people they stress on the bill, and learning about it and knowing about it, and to eliminate that, it's one less problem in your life. So.
Live stress-free.
I could be wrong, bro. Yeah, we just might be bullshitting. This is entire lie, conspiracy theory. If you watch this entire thing, thank you for your support.
Don't forget to like the video, leave a comment below.
Por favor. And I guess we'll catch you guys on the next video.